from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer. With boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Saludos amigos, el sprangos buenas singos.
Greetings I bring to you.
Rakas English, yeah, me jingle bell, tell them I'm giving them hell. Greetings I bring to you. Happy holidays too. Christmas in Trinidad. Feliz Navidad.
Across the border. Hold on. Chain of colors. Rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection. Virginia. Hold on, chain of colors, rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection, chain of love. Sayamanda, 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 freedom across the world. Get them children a hand to hold, like a rainbow. Come to light, let the sun shine, bold and bright. From pole to pole and corner to corner. Hold on, behind the bridge and across the border. Hold on, chain of colors, rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection, chain of love. Sayamanda, 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 chain of freedom across the world. Get them children a hand to hold, like a rainbow. Come to light, let the sun shine, bold and bright. From pole to pole and corner to corner. Hold on, behind the bridge and across the border. Hold on, chain of colors, rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection, chain of love. Sayamanda, 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 Sayamanda,
Wake up, rise up. It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show. Bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
From California to Philadelphia, sweet soul music.
All right, everybody, and of course, good Tuesday morning to you. And how are you people doing on the outside this morning? Trusting that all is well. Wherever you may be getting up with us from, Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. Neighbors in the Caribbean, good morning. Friends and family who are streaming all around the globe. Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us here on NETT Radio. Near Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. Let me say very special. Thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And all that we do, dear God, we ask that it be a blessing on to you. People, I'm yours truly, Sir Charles. Check it in. Happy am I to be in the space as always. As we welcome everybody to the Get Up and Go. Welcome to your breakfast show.
Get up, get up. It's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new
breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Morocco's Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Okay, right. So we welcome you, everybody, to the breakfast show. And of course, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you very much for hanging out with us here on NETT Radio. Of course, let me say good morning to our co-host, Richard, who will join us in a little bit. And of course, Wendell, who is here always very early. So, Wendell, good morning.
Morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. A special good afternoon to those in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, Fifi and the gang. Well, the folks out there, including Celeb. Is that the name? Yes, I think that's the name. And of course, good evening to those in Japan, especially March. And of course, Dr. Uida. Right. So I think I would have covered my special guests, of course, to everyone else all over the globe who continue to join us here on a morning. Thanks for joining what is inarguably the best morning show on radio anywhere in the universe. And I say that without apologies. But you made it that way, especially you have made it that way. Because trust me, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been here. All right, but we're here. We're happy to be in the land of the living. Let me get my birthday out of the way one time. Kayam Ali, my very good friend, Kayam Ali. Happy birthday, Kayam. Jeremiah David, Ingrid Morrison, retired lieutenant. I think he was lieutenant or colonel. Kirk Jean-Baptiste, Viola Ames Archer. Oh, by the way, I see our next good partner of mine, Hayden Pritchard, is on that delegation to investigate Barima. The tragedy in Guyana. He was named by the president of Guyana as part of the delegation. Morning, Hayden. Rishma Sicharan, Kandra Baldionarine Singh, Mavis Queen, Althea Reed Blackman, Glenwyn C.Y., and Donna Faye Hector. They are all celebrating birthdays today. Today is July 28th, the day after the attempted coup 36 years ago. I'll tell you all a little story about that when I get the chance. Or should I do it now, Sir Charles?
Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah,
Might as well. You mention it. Yeah.
This was 1990, right? July 27, 1990. A lot of people will remember the date because we have a lot of people who are of that age here listening. But in June of 1990 was when I first got married. I got married June 23rd, 1990. Never forget it. So literally, I was a month into my first marriage, right? My first wife, of course, is now deceased, right? I was a month into my first marriage. And that day, there was to be a football match down at the stadium, I think between Trinidad and Jamaica. For folks who remember, a lot of people were heading to the National Stadium that day. I, of course, was heading to pick up my wife in Port of Spain because she actually worked with the Hadids in Port of Spain. And I was going to pick up to go to the football. Mm-hmm. And when I pulled up outside her workplace and I was waiting, I'm just seeing people running down Frederick Street. And I saying, what the hell is going on here? And people were just running past me, and I saw a step outside the car. And when I looked west, I just saw smoke billowing up in the air. I said, Lord, what is happening in the city? Anyway, she came outside, and she said, come inside, in a kind of nervous way. And people were just gathering inside the place. And then so I went inside, and well, of course, we just didn't know what's going on. Eventually, I said, "Look, let's just go. We're going to the football. Let's just go." And we proceeded to drive towards the National Stadium. Sir Charles, and you're just seeing people, just stars, and you, of course, you're going closer to the smoke now.
Right.
And you're wondering what I say, yeah, let me just go St. James, yes? I ain't think I go in that stadium, you know. I don't know what is going on. So we went to St. James. We lived literally a stone's throw away from the Jamat. And so we stayed there that evening. And then I said, you know something? Let's go Barataria. When we put on the TV now, that is when we saw Abu Bakr on the TV announcing this overthrow of the government. So we went to Barataria where she had a family place. And we stayed there overnight. So Charles, at some hour in the morning, which is this morning, July 20th, we just hearing this raucous noise in the street.
Yeah.
People, what you think was happening? They were looting Roundabout Plaza, the grocery in Roundabout Plaza, and all the stores. People were looting.
Yes.
After now, but it was a traumatic experience because where they lived, where their family property was literally right across the road from Roundabout Plaza. They still have that property there. And people, when we came outside, of course, we coming outside to see what's going on. We come outside. People in the road, groceries all over the ground, all kind of things, because people just grabbing things and running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was my 1990 experience. Of course, we went back down St. James eventually. You know what I mean? And stayed. And that was when I think our family got closer than ever before, because during the ensuing curfew, that's when we decided as a family we would go all over the country. We went to Aripo, we went to Azarite Nature Center, we went to Cora River. We just used to go about the place together, just to relax, because it was so tense those days. You know what I mean? That's when we decided we would see the beauty of Trinidad and Tobago. And that's basically my 1990s story. Of course, in December of that year was when I started my first business. After we recovered and so on, I started my first business in December of 1992. So I have a lot of memories of that particular year. First marriage, the attempted coup, and first business.
Yeah, right.
1990.
Yeah, that definitely was a traumatic time. I mean, seeing so many things happening. I can't remember exactly what I was actually doing, at that stage in my life. But I remember being at home. I was in Barataria on 10th Street. And just
so they were on 7th Street, 10th Avenue. They were right there.
Right. But I was on 10th Street, but on 2nd Avenue. So I was like more eastbound.
Oh, okay.
And then you're just hearing all these reports on the actual evening of itself. You're getting different reports coming in and that sort of thing. And, but when it really started, and you're right, is when it started to get chaotic. I just started to see cars coming from all over and heading for like everybody got the yes that Maritime was it. I started to see cars going back and forward. I see people with mattress on top of a car, all kind of different things. I say, but what is taking place? People looting us? People looting.
It was crazy. Crazy.
Are you talking about the 27th of July?
Yeah.
Yes, the 27th into the 28th. Well, I gave a little history of when I got married the first time too. It was a month before that.
Oh, okay.
But it was interesting times. But as I said, we used that time to get closer as a family. And as I say, we started to go all over the country as a family visiting. My eldest sister, Len, encouraged that. God bless her soul. I still miss her daily, Yeah. But that's what we did.
One of the things that came out of it also for me, Wendell, is that after the coup finished, I can't remember how long it was. It took out for Trinidad and Tobago to settle down. But I remember there was a time I was just eating a whole lot of quick oats. And I started to hate quick oats after.
Never like that.
Yeah.
He never like fake outs.
You know, because like around that time, it's like, don't go outside, you know, because you don't know what's going on. And, you know, you can get shoot, you can get killed, you can all kind of things. So we were like just locked down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's anything
Yeah.
that coming out ever can, you know, and things that you have in the house. And oh my word, because a lot of businesses got looted. A lot.
Mm-hmm. Plenty.
Yeah,
All
but it
I'm
was an
saying, James.
attempted coup. You know, people say the time of the coup, but it's really an attempted coup. The coup wasn't successful. Well,
True.
but you know, strangely enough, in Arima, they didn't have much looting. I think looting and all of its all of the associated things with other people like running with stuff and things like that. I think that was pretty much Port of Spain and maybe like some isolated parts of the East-West corridor. I know they tried to do it in Arima in one store, but it was stopped. But it wasn't any mass looting in Arima, no. You kind of, you of course you were part of it. You knew what was going on in the country, but you weren't visibly seeing stuff. You
Right.
just heard that the store was, I think in Ridgewood Plaza, was it Quartz? But police had stopped whoever it was, and that was it.
Right.
But in other
you know what,
areas,
Arima came into play back then for gas because there was no gas available in Port of Spain. So we had to drive and in a long line, we had to get gas in Arima. That's what I remember that Arima for back then, because you know Arima was bush, right? For us in the West, Arima was bush all up to then.
Mandela, I think you're muted, you know. You're not hearing you.
But you know, it was interesting times, interesting stories that people had to give. Well, it had all these curfew parties where everybody used to go. What that place is Mass Camp. Everybody and Mass Camp. I don't think there was air conditioner. It was fan. So you had to find the place where the fan blowing, because you're coming out of Mass Camp dripping wet, you know.
I remember a friend of mine, Wendell, we had his mom was living up in the back of Erica Street in Laventille there. And so, you know, we at that point we were all young DJs and stuff and things, you know what I mean? So we try our own curfew party and thing, man. So so the first one, real people, boy, party nice and that sort of thing. And I mean, plenty women, plenty man, you know, but the party was a nice blend, I think, but mostly more women than men. So after that first one, we decided, okay, well, right, we're going to try another one. But this time up, everybody showed up again, but for some reason, the men leave the women home.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're coming expected to pick up women, but at that point,
Only man in the party.
Only man in the party now. And the thing about it is that now everybody locked down, you can't leave.
Wait, all they do.
No, well, we had to stay because, but at the end of the day, I think what the
So who will they dance with?
Boy, man,
Don't cut the story short.
No, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man, because apparently what happened is that the word went out, but boy, the curfew party had so much woman that men say, well, I come in by myself, I can't nobody next. So you end up locked down. And you have nowhere to go until the 5 o'clock or something before you can come out. You know, that's a thing, boy.
Yeah. You are a proud group of guys in that party. So,
what is that?
You're trying to say technically it was a gay party. That's what
you are a proud group of people in the party.
No, it wasn't a gay party, but
no, I just teased.
Yeah, I know you are. Yes.
but maybe that's where gay party started from. We don't know.
Oh, right, yeah. From Erica Street in Laventille.
Right there in Laventille.
The first place. Before Stonewall, there was Erica Street.
The birthplace of gay party. God. Hey, this place sweet, yes. If you don't laugh, you're crying.
But
Yeah.
So,
let me,
twinkling star, shooting star, stargazer, superstar. What's the latest with that? I haven't seen anything. Was she released?
You know, I don't know because that was supposed to happen. You know, first of all, let me say good morning. I didn't say good morning. I just jumped into the conversation. Good morning, Wendell and Sir Charles. And I see Sir Charles, you've solved the problem.
well, I'm working around.
Oh, you're working around the problem.
Oh, you're still
Yeah.
up? Okay. Well, you're doing well then.
Yeah.
I'm
And good
working
morning to all of our
around.
listeners and viewers, wherever you are, in whatever time zone. And thanks for joining us. We know you have a choice and we're glad that you chose us. You have impeccable taste. But yeah.
What's the
I don't
latest
know
with that? The state
I
had
have no
until
clue.
11:30 last night.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Star Sabga is home.
She's home.
Yeah, Star Sabga has begun her house arrest after the state lost its bid to keep her detained. Cheesemaker Star Sabga is now at home after being released on house arrest following a series of court rulings on today. Sabga was released a short while ago after a Court of Appeal panel refused the state's application for a stay of an earlier High Court ruling. I was wondering why the state would go for a stay, because obviously the Court of Appeal would be less inclined because of the previous case.
Richard, attorneys, I'm sorry, to tell you this, because you're an attorney at law, a very respected one at that. Attorneys how to make money, Clearly, an attorney filing a stay, a group of attorneys filing a stay, they ought to be paid for that, regardless of whether it's successful or not.
Mm.
And it's ridiculous. You know what I want you to explain to me? You and any attorney who listening, or anybody who in the know listening, because I had this debate with someone yesterday. What is, when you are detained for a particular, to be questioned in a particular instance, but you're detained and not charged, is it considered an arrest? Here why I'm asking this. I'm asking this. In the case of this Star Sabga, she was detained for this same conspiracy charge, right? The same conspiracy issue. She was not charged. However, because of her detention, she has been sent home under house arrest. How does that work? How does house arrest come in to someone who's not been arrested in the first place and charged?
It only comes in because we're in a state of emergency.
My God.
Because the person is not under charge, there is no legal basis in ordinary circumstances to put you under house arrest, because you have nothing to answer to.
Right.
Because there's a preventative detention order, and that order exists under the state of emergency, and you are seeking release from the prevention detention order. And remember, the attorneys are arguing, the attorneys for Star Sabga are saying release and put her under house arrest, rather than in prison. So the judge is basically saying, okay, well, which was the argument they made for Genevieve and Dominic Hadid, and which I suppose is a kind of balancing act the attorneys are going through. In other words, rather than saying release my clients, you have no basis to hold them, they're saying, well, while that matter is substantively heard later on, because I think that matter is now the substantive matter is going to go through the system, they're saying why that substantive matter is going through the system, release and put down house arrest.
Right.
But it all stems really from the prevention detention order. And that only is operational because of the state of emergency.
All right,
So
hold on there, guys.
that's why it's unusual.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
Thanks for that explanation.
Wendell took the thing in a whole different direction right here. Let's do good news, treat the people in the stream and come back, right?
Yeah, sure.
You don't need a yes man. You need a thought partner, someone who challenges the idea before the market does. Most men surround themselves with people who agree with everything and anything that they say, and it feels good. It feels like support. It feels like loyalty, but agreement without pushback is not friendship. It's an echo chamber with a group chat. The men who build things that last have someone in their corner who is not afraid to say, that's not ready yet. Someone who respects you enough to tell you the truth before a customer does, before an investor does, before the public does, because the criticism that comes from someone who wants you to win is a gift. The criticism that comes from the market is sometimes a funeral. Do you know why most businesses fail in the first 2 years? Not because the founder was not talented, but because everyone around him was too polite to point out the hole in the plan. They smiled, they clapped, they hyped it up. They said, bro, that's fire. And then they watched it burn in real time and acted surprised. The people who only tell you yes are protecting the relationship, their position. The people who challenging you are protecting the outcome. One keeps you comfortable, the other keeps you sharp, and comfort has never built anything that survived contact with reality. Find the person who makes you defend your own idea out loud, because if you can't defend it at the dinner table, you won't survive defending the marketplace most times. Stop collecting fans. Start collecting people who make you think harder.
That was more kind of did you know rather than
Borderline.
Borderline, yeah. It was kind of straddling both. But okay.
All right. Let's greet the folks in the chat. Richard, Eunice Dublin at 12:54. She's back up on top.
Did he just get bounced off?
Apparently so. His laptop must have died again.
Oh, nothing has died. Nothing has died. It's just when certain parts of my tablet, when I'm on my tablet, I have to use my fingers. And when I touch it, it just reboots the whole thing. Scrolling, when I'm scrolling. You know, like when you pull the screen, it pulls it straight off. You know, with your finger. Anyway, let me just get back to the top, right? Eunice Dublin, Odell Guy, Kenny in Harlem, Robert Allen, John Cato says Grand Rising, and it's Thankful Tuesday. Apollina says wonderful morning to you guys. Margaret Thomas, Carla Hercules, I can't go back to sleep. Good morning. That's at 4:04. Trust me, I can relate to that. Pamela O'Connor, Suzanne Jessup, and that's from Suzanne, Suzette, Corrine, Mrs. Gemma, Maria S. and Maria H. Happy birthday greetings to Mrs. Gemma. Oh, today is Miss Gemma's birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Gemma.
Yeah,
love
happy
always.
birthday, Mrs. Gemma. Yeah.
Oh, she has a son named Wendell. Look at that. Daughter-in-law Cindy, grandson Kevin, and Kevon. Great-granddaughter, love from all the family. So happy birthday, Miss Gemma. Have an absolutely beautiful day. Rest in peace also to Leon Jessup. Today's 22 years since he passed. Pleasant Tuesday morning from Trinman, Marcia Rock in Orlando, Florida. Diane Payne, Robert Taylor in Fernandina Beach. Manuela Peters, Boy Bidesi out there in David. Oh, he's in Tobago. He's still enjoying your birthday, boy. Have fun. I saw some pictures on Facebook. Maria Cellier also sending happy birthday to Miss Gemma. Empress Reyes Lal, Norris Ferguson. Sis Super says, thank God for sparing our lives to see another beautiful day. Marlon Motley from North Val saying,
good morning, Marlon.
Bernadette and Nelicia Yates, Debbie Modeste, Calvin Frank in Powder Magazine, Arlene Lois, Doreen Pierre in North Carolina, never a dull moment. And Mrs. R.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
In Trin City, the lover of police. Lover of police. Valerie. Why do I always tempted to tease you, girl? Valerie Mendoza, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona, Ian Stewart, Arlene Joseph, Wendell. Did you give Richard my message regarding his players? Richard, somebody tell me, you need to put your plays online, I think, to make it pay-per-view or something. So, is it Arlene? Tell me that. Well, that must be somebody else. I don't know. Edwin Joseph says, good morning, guys. Merle McComey, Empress Reyes Lal, wake up, wake up. Keith Clark, Kurt Hope in Nashville, Tennessee. Black Leo says, the star is free. Alice Sahar, good morning, guys. It's the Law Association. What problem with the Law Association. The other day, they came out and made a big statement about commenting on the particular matter. Not a peep out of them since. Where's the Law Association people? Could you somebody find them for us, please? Chris Tusa, morning, gentlemen. Wendell, whatever happened to the PNM FAB? Have they been replaced by the Powder Puff Girls? Okay, I don't know. Angela Green, Prabha Ramdial, Joyce Phillip, Michael Robinson out there in Yokohama, Japan. That's Manish. Julia Samantha, Manuela Peters, happy birthday to my granddaughter, Maya McPherson. Happy birthday, Maya, from your grandmother. Manuela is a woman, right? Yeah, grandmother, and from us on the Breakfast Show. Wendy and James, I saw when people was looting. I saw when looting was taking place, people going with fridge. Yeah, boy. That was a sight to behold. There was a meat place, you remember, somewhere in the East-West corridor, I think Lavantel, that they emptied all the meat from the place. Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, I try to remember the name of the place, something Pang or something.
Apangs? Was it Apangs?
I think so. I think it's Apang. and yeah, in Lavantel.
That was a front page news back then.
An American store up in Mount Hope. Oh, good.
Yeah, boy, American stores get a hit too. Lester Crogwell, Philomena Ali Morning, Carlisle Cupid, John Wells. Sir Charles, I remember you living by the corner opposite Sybil Critchlow.
Yes.
Somebody up there business there.
Yes, yes.
Sankofa said the UNC is carrying out a worse treason than Baka. Oh God. One in Sankofa. Beauty culture, Lester Crogwell, Sir Charles, you were probably the only person in Trinidad that didn't have any food. Trust me, a lot of people were without food because they couldn't even get to buy. Because remember, it was approaching month end when most people go to the grocery. So a lot of people were without stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then police cornered a vehicle filled with powdered milk and distributed it. Beauty culture, that was a time I really got to value my freedom, for sure. In San Fernando, there were only curfew parties at the club. That's Alistair Hart, morning. Melchizedek, Carlisle Cupid, Dr. Eric Williams was correct when he said the law is an ass. Imagine an amnesty signed by the president with the prime minister injured and imprisoned, validated after 28 deaths from the event. Well, yeah, that's what lawyers are for, Carlisle. Good morning, guys, from Sherma Paul, Michael Robinson. I was having dinner with our friend in Cascade when we saw a newsflash on TV. To my shock, I saw my friend, the manager of Pandemonium, and my father-in-law. Okay. I'm assuming those were part of the insurrectionists, Manish. Sankofa say, all right, he's laughing. Stories of Lavantil residents looting a palm meat. Look at there, Anna said it. Then locking one greedy guy in the freezer. That happened. Alistair Hart, all right. Anna and curfew parties were the norm. Dave Gosain, she was released. Thanks, Dave. Michelle Phillip, morning, Michelle. Beauty culture. I was watching 12 and Under on TTT when it happened and thought it was an ad for a play till my neighbor shout out tongue burning down. Cheryl Maraj, good morning. Lester Crogwell, Ingrid Wendell in 1990, just before the coup. I had just brought my family to Trinidad, for an extended visit. He experienced the coup. Wayne Ramsey, morning, guys. Wayne, where were you? You might have gone already. Estelita Sampson, good morning, guys. So that really was the reason for the SOE? Well, yeah. Jasodra Ramkalawan, sorry. People have been charged for sedition, so why not them? It's different strokes for different folks. Well, they weren't arrested under sedition, Jasodra. They were arrested for conspiracy to murder.
They weren't being detained.
Detained, all right. Well, that's the problem, Richard, I'm having with the word arrested. Because I'm saying they were not arrested. They were detained. You understand? But you just explained why house arrest. So is it house arrest or house detention?
Well, it'll be house arrest because they can't move.
Yeah. People have been right.
And that's how it will be called. I mean, sometimes it's interchangeable.
Yeah,
but
I guess
arrest connotates the constitutional process in terms of the everyday constitutional process. Whereas this is not the everyday process. This is up to you.
Yeah, I guess because of the state of emergency, we having these kind of issues coming up.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be fleshed out in the court, of course. Morning, Magic. Hillary Benjamin, morning. Let me get some new people here. Michael Eastman, Jerry Vera, that's Jerry Albin, aka Jerry Pooh. Greetings, people. Have a good show. Wendell, don't forget you have to give me a call, please. Yes, sorry. Yesterday turned out to be busier than I thought. Mrs. R is laughing. Michael Robinson, a strong 7.1 earthquake hit Kumamoto tonight with the strongest shaking reaching Shindos. It's very serious. Many buildings have been damaged. What's going on in Japan recently, man? Manish? Plenty of earthquakes, huh?
Japan has always had earthquakes. That's on you.
No, but it's been like a non-stop period of earthquakes lately, yeah? Maybe it's because we have Manish on the show now that we get in that kind of information.
Yeah. But always.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis Jr., Apang, Ron. Anyway, I have a fatigue for you. When you're calling, I'll do it for you. Kim Govaya, very good day, everyone. Arlene Joseph, yes. Robert White from Fernandina Beach told you about it. She did. She did. It says Arlene Oliver. Oh, Arlene Joseph Oliver. All right, I now make the link, Arlene, between this name on the chat and the name I know you as. I now make the link. Adana Clark, Apang, then they look, okay. Let me get some new people here. Sidena Kwashi, blessings morning, Lemon Drop, Florence Bazi morning, and those are all the folks on the chat. All right,
so we have on the WhatsApp, good morning to Miss St. Augustine, also to Debbie in Movadea, Peter Wilson, good day to you, Frank in Aruka, Fifi out there in Addis Ababa, Captain Ron is in Orlando, Callan and Kelly in Carenage, Mr. Billy Powder Magazine, good day to you, Kent in Laventille, Ingrid in Arizona is also here in this chat, so good morning, Ingrid. Rena Budo Jennings, have a fantastic day. Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada, CJ out there in New York, and Zena, the Powder Puff ladies are very up and moving this morning, and so DeSantis is also alive and kicking on this side here. Just before we go to the break, also let me say good morning and speedy recovery to Carol Guevara. Carol is not too well, and we want to wish her all God's blessings, and we send our prayers to be with her through a very difficult time that we know she's going through. So our prayers are with you, Carol.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so stay with us. We're going for that break and come back.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
All aboard! Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio. NETT Radio Halloween Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite net DJs. Search as CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you use a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200. After $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Crep, Bats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall, and Eastgate Mall, and all net DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. Net Radio, Colorway, Hula Cruise. Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Colorway, on the scene.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
All right, I guess we could go straight into the newspapers today. The Express headlines online reads, "Nothing will bring her back." That's the father of the child who was killed in that jet ski incident. Of course, the DPP has ordered charges to be laid against the jet ski operator. That was in the news yesterday. Scorching heat grips TNT. Hot spell continues today. It was extremely hot yesterday. More bronze from cyclists, and I don't know if I sent you all that video of the young gymnast who did very well at the Commonwealth Games. I think I would have sent that video. We could use that for good news one day. Ahi, Bertrand, Lewis in finals, and that's Michelle Liai. She, of course, got a yellow card yesterday for false starting, but she ended up doing pretty well in the race and ran second. Judge orders immediate release of Star Stabga. Star Stabga freed from prison, placed under house arrest. Man kidnapped from his Chaguanas home. Jet ski operator to be charged with killing Teddy. Attorneys warn of executive overreach under extended SOEs. And what's not in the headline is the investigation launched by the Commissioner of Police into the release of the intercepted thing. Now, I'll read that for you all because that will form the basis of our poll this morning. I'll read it after Richard is finished with the Guardian headlines.
All right, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning. The headline, main story, Commissioner of Police orders probe into audio leak. ACB tasked with authenticating Hadid Sabga clip, if intercept was legal and how it was circulated. PM confirms Hadid probe expanded to foreign jurisdictions. Rescued fisherman recounts 9-day fight for survival after St. Vincent VII sank. Star Sabga stays in jail as state gets stay of house arrest ruling. Of course, that's no longer current. Jeremy stands by police Alexander in Hadid case. TNT maintaining investor confidence, says professional services MD. CAF launches US $150 million impact fund for Caribbean and LATAM. All right, a lot of these business stories are old. Courts order Star Sabga be released. Attorney's request stay, that's old now because she's been released. Ex-PNM Senator TNT's leaders need to stop calling people by derogatory terms. Hadid in emotional return to Blue Water's business. And in sports, Amazon Warriors and Unicorns claim crucial wins. Campbell smears another bronze. is FIFA President Gianni Infantino a moderate day sport visionary or pariah? Ali and Masood help Pakistan seize control of opening test, and Windies' batting meltdown gives Pakistan the upper hand. So that's it for the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian this morning.
You know, with the ex-PNM senator is of course Ms. Tagram Singh Sukla, right? I agree with her, though. You know what? She basically said, if you stop calling people names, maybe people will stop calling you names. That's basically the gist of what she said. Morning, Renuka. You understand? Stop calling people names because you're guilty of doing it, and people may stop calling you names. That's basically the gist of it. You're going to, did you know, or you want me to read this story?
No, did you know, then you go with it. Yeah.
All right, boss.
Someone had hung a large wooden log beneath a tree. A black bear was passing along the same path. The log seemed annoying to him, so he gave it a light push. The log swung back and struck him on the shoulder. That small hit was enough to make the bear angry, as if the log had hit him on purpose. So he attacked it with even more force. The log swung even higher and came back faster than before, crashing into the bear again. This time, the pain was greater. But the bear's anger was even greater than the pain. He decided that he would not stop until he had broken the log. He gathered all his strength and struck it with a powerful blow. The log flew higher than ever before. It paused in the air for just a second, then came rushing back at full speed and slammed directly into the bear's head. A single blow was enough to kill him. The log certainly harmed the bear, but who gave it that much power? The bear's own reaction did. This is one of psychology's simplest lessons. The truth is, many things that hurt us have very little power on their own. We give them power through our reactions. Someone says something to provoke you, someone stares at you, or someone laughs to mock you. That is all they do. But when we react instead of ignoring it, we hand them the power to affect us. Always remember one thing. Do not let other people decide your reactions by pushing your buttons. You are not a television. Keep the remote control of your life in your own hands and stop giving it to other people so they can keep hurting you.
That's another did you know that we should play like once every couple weeks or so. That particular one.
Yep.
Anyway, this is a media release from the TTPS yesterday. I'll read it because it'll inform our poll this morning. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service acknowledges the circulation on social media of an audio recording which is alleged to be intercepted communication. The TTPS advises that under the Interception of Communications Act, Chapter 1508, communications may only be lawfully intercepted pursuant to Section 6.2 or Section 8 of the Act. The TTPS further reminds the national community that the Act expressly forbids the unauthorized disclosure of intercepted communications. Section 8.6 provides that a person who discloses the existence of a warrant or an application for a warrant commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $50,000 and to imprisonment for 3 years. In light of the seriousness of this matter and its direct implications for national security, I have ordered an immediate investigation to be spearheaded by Assistant Commissioner of Police Andy Tiwari to determine the authenticity of the recording, whether it constitutes any communication lawfully intercepted under the Act, and if authentic, the circumstances under which it entered the public domain. The investigation will also determine whether any person unlawfully disclosed protected information and whether any breach of, where the second part of this letter goes. That is all I have. All right. I don't have the rest. I don't know where the rest goes. It disappeared from my thing. But anyway, what it effectively means is that the Commissioner of Police has launched an investigation first to find out, if I'm interpreting this correctly, Richard, you could help me, the authenticity of it, right? Second, to find out who released it and if it was in fact intercepted material that they released. Right? That's what I'm gathering from that release from the TTPS, from the Commissioner of Police. The authenticity of it, well, as far as I know, the Minister of Homeland Security already confirmed that is authentic. You understand? In other words, if you read in his words. But who released it? And that, is the Commissioner of Police trying to pull the TTPS out of this?
I don't know that he's trying to pull them out of it. I don't know. I think obviously the releasing of that audio has fueled a backlash from the society in terms of not only not reading or not seeing the audio the same way that the state may have seen it. And of course, many people believe it is authentic. But let's say whether it's authentic or not, let's just cover it by saying that. But also too, that the state agencies have a lot to answer for because of the release of it from a professional point of view. So there's pushback from the society concerning that. And that is what I think would have fueled the optics of that media release. Now, whether it's legitimate, whether it's really a serious investigation or not, I can't say. I'll have to take their word for it that they are seriously going to investigate it. But it seems to me as if it's part of the answer to the pushback. If there was no pushback, would we have seen that release? I don't know. You know, agencies and politicians react to pushback from the general public more swiftly than if the public says nothing. When you leave institutions to maintain integrity without public pushback, it takes really the leadership to be so full of integrity to understand this is the right thing to do. Because I am saying an investigation, let me be clear, I am saying that an investigation is the right thing to do. Because
Richard, can I ask you a question?
You cannot have sensitive information being leaked like that. But sometimes, unfortunately, public pushback is what motivates the correct approach from institutions rather than the institutions acting themselves promptly.
Richard, let me ask you this now. Answer me honestly. Yeah? You have a lot of hope in the TTPS. You have a lot of hope.
But I'm not saying a lot of hope.
No, that's a yes or no answer. Don't go wrong. Mulberry bush with me this morning.
You can't tell me to answer. Then just watch the video. What? You can push my buttons. I'm in control of my remote, sir.
Like a
I am in control of my remote. You gotta tell me what button to push.
No, I don't want to hear that. Yes or no.
You can tell what you want. You could beat up like a headless chicken. I am in control of my remote.
It's like a love slamming you in your head all the time, like the bear.
I am in control of my remote.
So he asking you a question, tell you what to answer.
No, it's a simple yes or no answer. He wants to give me a legal answer. You know why? You know why? You know why? You know why? I understand.
I have totally abandoned hope. I have not, like you have totally, you say the TDPS is hopeless. I have indicated to you before that I am not in that position.
Sir Charles, you know, we are then, like he on a brief, like he had a makeup for the whole hour. I don't want a whole hour answer.
When he has a different view, you see that black and white, he's seeing gray.
That I answer how you want me to answer. The politics infecting you, you feel you're in control, you're big and you're bad.
Yeah. Either yes or no. No, it have gray areas.
No gray area there.
You're not
either you have hope in the TTPS or you don't.
Not big and bad.
It's all attorneys like this. All attorneys like this. All out there like this.
You asked me if I have a lot of hope, and I was contextualizing it and saying I don't view the TTPS as hopeless. It does not mean I have a lot of hope, but I have hope that yes, there are good officers that will get the job done.
Richard, I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt about that they are good officers. But I asked you specifically on, all right, let me rephrase it.
You asked me if I have a lot of hope. That was your question.
Under the current Commissioner of Police, do you have hope that the TTPS will improve anytime soon? That's a no. Anyway, let's do the poll.
No.
That's a no. That's a no. I take it as a no. You never find that you didn't say yes one time.
I think some of his actions are concerning, and I think the relationship between the TTPS and the current administration sometimes blurs the lines of independence between the two institutions, and I find that concerning from a lawyer's point of view.
I would love to see you advocating in a court, you know.
But in terms of, you know, can he make some right decisions? Yes, I think he can. Can he make some silly decisions? Yes, too. So.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, folks, our poll is up. Do you expect anyone to be detained by the TTPS over the leaked audio file? Do you expect ACP Andy Tiwari to come up with an investigation that points towards who leaked that intercept audio? First, to begin with, we have to find out if it's authentic, because that's what they put in the public domain. You know, they kind of almost put in doubt in your head now that it may not be authentic. That's the purpose of that release, Richard. You feel I don't know the TTPS or what?
The release is as a result, which is what I said, Wendell, is a result of the pushback from the public. So I don't know how much merit that release has, which is what I said. It's a response, and I said, rather than an institution saying, oh my God, this release is a breach of national security services. We are going to get to the bottom of who released this because it's unfortunate, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't their initial response. That was the point I was making. The point was, after there was all of this public pushback and discourse about where that leak come from, did the government indicate them to leak? Because that's where speculation went. Did the government have a part in releasing it? Everybody started to speculate. So there was a collective pushback on whatever the intention of releasing that audio was. And now they're playing catch up. That's how I saw that release.
Good. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere.
We can do it you this morning, right? You're not going to take my remote from me. You're not going to take my remote from me.
But only cook game. The chance, I have him right where I want him.
Yeah. Any people, news is straight ahead, right? So vote on the poll. We'll tell you how you voted when we come back.
Yeah, we come back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on NETT Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Kamla Persad Bissessar says the latest TTPS CompStat report shows serious crime is declining under the government's anti-crime strategy. According to the figures, serious reported crimes fell by 15%, from 6,469 between January 1st and July 20th last year, to 5,514 over the same period this year, a drop of 955 offenses. The Prime Minister said the largest reductions were recorded in the Northern, Northeastern, Eastern, and Central divisions. She credited the progress to the government's anti-crime measures and the ongoing state of emergency, while acknowledging that more work is needed to further reduce crime. A high court judge has ordered the release of 69-year-old businesswoman Star Sabga on house arrest after ruling there was insufficient evidence to justify her continued detention. Justice Vijay Paul questioned why Sabga remained in custody after Dominic and Genevieve Hadid were released, saying there was no evidence she took any steps to further an alleged conspiracy beyond a private telephone conversation. The judge said intelligence alone was not enough to justify ongoing detention. State attorneys have applied for a stay of the ruling, meaning Sabga's release could be delayed pending further court proceedings. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles is calling on the government and national leaders to recommit to Trinidad and Tobago's democratic principles as the country marks the 36th anniversary of the July 27, 1990 attempted coup. In a statement, Beckles warned against actions that undermine public trust, democratic institutions, and citizens' constitutional rights. She said democracy depends on respect for differing opinions, civil liberties, and the rule of law. Beckles also paid tribute to the 24 people who lost their lives during the attempted coup, urging citizens to reject violence as a means of political change and to protect the country's democracy for future generations. Business leaders are marking the 36th anniversary of the 1990 attempted coup, are reflecting on its lasting impact and urging citizens to protect Trinidad and Tobago's democracy. TTCSI President Diane Joseph and Chaguanas Chamber President Baldath Maharaj recalled the fear, uncertainty, and economic disruption caused by the crisis, saying it highlighted the importance of peace, stability, and the rule of law. TTMA Chief Executive Dr. Ramesh Ramdeen also paid tribute to those affected, while praising the resilience of the country's business sector and its role in driving economic growth and diversification since the events of 1990. Police have charged a 32-year-old Canaan man with manslaughter over the death of 7-year-old Angelica Jogi, following advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions. Angelica died on April 8th after she was struck by a jet ski while bathing with relatives at Pigeon Point Heritage Park in Tobago. Police said the jet ski entered an area designated for bathers, leaving the child with fatal injuries. The suspect was initially arrested after the incident, but later released pending further investigations. He was rearrested this week and is expected to appear before the court. Finally, the United States says it is moving to rebuild its weapons stockpiles after spending an estimated US $37.5 billion on munitions during nearly 40 days of fighting with Iran earlier this year. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has asked Congress for an additional $87 billion to address equipment shortages, while analysts say some key missiles, including Tomahawk cruise missiles and Patriot interceptors, could take several years to replace. The concern comes as military planners continue to monitor rising tensions with China over Taiwan, with experts warning that maintaining adequate weapons stockpiles remains critical to U.S. national security. And that is NETT Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the NETT Radio Breakfast Show.
Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for justice. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for culture. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for freedom. Ring the bell down there. I said to ring up the bell for the rocks so we down. Ring the bell down there. Bring it all over. Bring it all over. Bring it all over. Bring it all over. Hey. Come on, come on. This
time, bust it in the air bell. Well, look, I have a story to tell. Well, it's a long, long time now we fighting for freedom. Victory bound to come. Assemble the people, we sight up the mission, and we rock the rhapsodydom. Whoa, ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for justice. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for culture. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for freedom. Ring the bell down there. I said to ring up the bell for the rhapsodydom. Ring the bell down there. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Hey. So listen well, I come to deliver this word. Let the voice of the dumb press be heard over the world. Let the people's story be told. Well, it's a long, long time now we come out for action. Glory days come down. I come with my bell just to second the motion. Rock the rhapsodydom. Whoa, I ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for justice. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for culture. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for freedom. Ring the bell down there. I said to ring up the bell for the rhapsodydom. Ring the bell down there. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Ring it all over. Hey. Bring it in the House of Parliament. Bring it in the seat of government. And let the hear do it. Let the hear. Bring it in the House of Congress. Bring it in the Buckingham Palace. In the Kremlin and Washington. Ring it in the Vatican too, Lord. Oh, I ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for justice. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for culture. Ring the bell down there. Ring the bell for freedom. Ring the bell down there. I said to ring up the bell for the rhapsodydom. Ring the bell down there. Ring it all over. Ring it all over.
Just got better. You're locked into NETT Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
All right, everybody, and of course, good morning to you once again, and we welcome you inside of the second hour of the breakfast show. It is a Tuesday morning, and we're happy to be here with you in the land of the living. If you're hearing our voices, trust me, you are in the land of the living. Anyhow, good morning to all our early risers, the Anthem crew, those people that come in just before 6 o'clock. You just see the numbers going up. Yeah, I'm good day to you. Everybody who came in along the way, and of course, good morning to our folks on Gal Caribbean TV. Thank you very much, people, for making the breakfast show your choice. Remember, we are here Monday to Friday, between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. You get the breakfast show. Wendell Stephen, Richard Raghubar Singh, and of course yours truly, Sir Charles. Right? Remember, anytime there's a holiday, fellas don't book on a holiday. Huh? No. We love a holiday up inside here. So any holidays, and of course when we come off of the TV feed on our social media platforms at around 9 o'clock this morning, you can join us on netradiott.com. That's NETT radiott.com. And of course, you'll be able to listen to us. When you don't see us live, listen to us at netradiott.com. All right. Of course, that's our website. And when you go there, there's a donate button, and you can support the channel by whatever you can support us with. All right. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow all of our pages. We are at NETT Radio Trinidad on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Did I forget somebody there? Facebook. And of course, also on our WhatsApp channel. And of course, all of the streaming platforms, whether you are on TuneIn, Radio Garden, or Online Radio Box. Any one of those platforms, you can get us at NETT Radio Trinidad. All right? A couple of things to let you know that coming up also at 11 o'clock, and of course that will be the next engagement for all the folks on the social media feed, YouTube and Facebook, as well as our website. You get us. Denise Deming will join us for Common Ground, TNT, and of course today Denise is speaking with former President of the Senate, Timothy Hamill-Smith. Right. So he is joining Denise between 11 and 12 here on NETT Radio. So you can tune in and of course listen, get the opportunity to join the discussions also. Also, people, don't forget our Color Week Cruise is coming up on the 15th of August. So we want you to make sure you get your tickets right now. You can get the early bird tickets. There's still a few of them available. Get them at Rumbox in St. James, Crosby's in St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kirap, also at Fats International in Arima. You can also pick up your tickets at K Squared Fashions. They are at Eastgate Mall, West Mall, and C3 Center. Remember, you can call any one of our DJs, call any one of our lines. And of course, we will be able to get your tickets to you. And if you're not going on the cruise, that's okay. You can still support the venture by buying a ticket or two, right? So all the folks who have been doing that, we do appreciate your support to the platform, because by buying a ticket, you support what we do and keep us going here. So buy a ticket now, right? Buy a ticket or two or three or four. And that will be your contribution towards the cruise and towards NETT Radio. All right? So I think I told you guys everything. Oh, the poll is up. Do you think, or do you expect, do you hope that anyone will be detained, arrested, make a jail for that leaked audio tape that we hear that is circulating? You think anybody will already be held accountable? Well, guess what? If you are saying yes, and some people are saying yes, you are voting one. And if you are voting no, and some people are saying no, you can vote two. And when we come back, we will tell you how you guys voted.
All aboard! Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio. NETT Radio Color Week Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs: Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kure, Fats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall, and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your cooler, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, NETT Radio, Color Week Cooler Cruise, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Color Week on the sea.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, Net Radio.
All right, so we are back inside of the second hour. Yeah, we're here. You know, with this wraparound, I can't get back my pictures yet, but I'll work on that over the next couple of days.
That's good on the camera.
The last couple of days, people have been, oh my gosh, I don't know what it is, but it has been very frustrating. Since Friday, I've just been going, trying to sort out this thing, but, we'll see how it goes. What do you hear?
Yeah. All right. Well, we got lots of votes on this particular poll. If you could just put back up the poll for us there, Sir Charles. And of course, do you expect anyone to be detained by the TTPS over the leaked audio file? That's our question this morning. What the TTPS didn't say, and maybe somebody in the chat could alert us, who's responsible for the intercepting of things? Is it the Attorney General, or is it the Commissioner of Police, or is it the SSA? Which department would be doing the intercepting of communications? That is what I'm not certain about. Richard, are you there? Can you assist?
No, he's not there right now.
Yeah, he's not there. Who's responsible for the interception of communications? Can someone put it in the chat for us, please? Which department would be responsible for that? Because there is an SSA that we don't even know who's actually the head of the SSA. Well, somebody sent it to me in a message. I've never heard the name before. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we're not sure which department is responsible for the interception of communications. You understand? And who keeps that thing? And what would be the reason? I asked all this yesterday. If we could probably try and get Larry Lala or somebody who could advise us as to what would prompt an interception of communication. Is it keywords, a word that somebody, is it that we are all being monitored, and based on what you say, that triggers some sort of thing? In other words, like if you go in America and you say Trump and probably a certain other word in that same sentence, that triggers something, because there are certain things you can't say in an airport in America. You understand?
Yeah.
It will trigger an immediate reaction. Are we like that here?
I'm sure we are probably just as, because Trinidad and Tobago, we don't invent anything. We just copy everything or borrow. Mm-hmm. So most likely, whatever exists in some of those places, we are probably just using, maybe some of the outdated equipment, but we are using it. And I think it probably may have been the SSA, because remember the Financial Intelligence Unit also, they flag a lot of things also, so I am sure that those things probably work very, very closely together. Units now.
But when somebody just sent me a message that in October 4th, 2025, that was less than a year ago, it was moved the assignment and reassignment of responsibility for the Office of the Attorney General. So apparently all right, it says, in exercise of the power vested in me, the President, by Section 79(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and acting in accordance with the advice of the Prime Minister, I hereby remove from Senator the Honorable John Jeremy SC, in his capacity as the Attorney General, the responsibility for matters related to Environmental Commission, Equal Opportunity Commission, Equal Opportunity Tribunal, the Tax Appeal Board, Council of Legal Education, and the Hugh Wooden Law School, with effect from 3rd October as amended, an amended schedule is hereto attached. So all those things were removed from John Jeremy on October 4th, right? And what has gone under him is anti-money laundering, counter-financing of terrorism and proliferation financing, appointments of quasi-judicial bodies, Department of Civil Law, the Solicitor General, Chief State Attorney, and what also went under him at the bottom of it is the Strategic Services Agency, which is the SSA. That was apparently placed under the Attorney General in October last year, the Strategic Services Agency, which I suspect is the body responsible for interception, the interception of communication, right? So it is now under the Attorney General. You know, something that Star Sadgar said in that audio leak, that we still have to find out the authenticity of it, people, right? According to the TTPS, is that John Jeremy, I am saying exactly what we heard on the audio tape. Folks, I'm not making this up. John Jeremy is the most corrupt person out. He was PNM Attorney General and now he's at UNC Attorney General. Didn't you all hear that? Now, let me tell you something. Nobody has raised that as an issue. And I'm surprised. Because I've heard a lot about John Jeremy. I've never heard him linked to any kind of corruption. But she said it. Yeah. She said it on that tape. And I said, but nobody ain't pick up on that. Nobody ain't saying how she could say that about John Jeremy or why is she saying that about John Jeremy? Because as I tell you, I've never heard him linked to corruption. I'll be very honest. You know what I mean? But I was wondering why nobody making that an issue.
Well, maybe because as some people are saying it, maybe it just might be erratic rum shop talk.
Which is what the whole thing was about, Sir Charles.
Yeah. So
the whole thing was an erratic, emotional conversation by someone who was hurt because of the way the community was singled out for treatment in the parliament and treated since. Not so. That's what it was all about.
Well, even though at the end of it all, I mean, you see, there are some responsibilities that people have to remember. That at the end of it all, there are some things that you.
So, Charles, in a private conversation, this is not a conversation you expect somebody to be listening to or taping.
Well, and I said, and parts of what you would have said, even in a private capacity, because that is where most things and most threats and most things will come out. Most interceptions. You remember in the FIUs, they have like thousands of interceptions that they have every year, and I suppose with audio it's probably the very same thing, might be even more, because people are outside there saying all kinds of things. So you have now to filter through all of that and see here going on. Is there or could something come out of this? Because this might be somebody that, as one person said, has the means to carry out certain things. So do you take it seriously or do you not take it seriously? How do you treat it? Remember we had coming out of the same coup that we were talking about. One of the conversations, the attempted coup, was that people knew, people heard certain things, but they didn't take it on. And look what happened, So
Charles, nobody didn't know about that coup. You know why? The then sitting prime minister didn't know. Otherwise he would not have subjected himself to be shot and embarrassed and humiliated like that. So if the minister of national security, the attorney general at the time, the prime minister at the time didn't know, you really think you believe all them stupid talk about this one know that why he wasn't there, and this one know that why he say wake me up when it's over?
I don't know. I don't think put it past some people. Because I myself questioned it. Why it is that some people were just not there. But you have heard people also, not just at that level, persons who would have known on the ground and would have heard certain things and dismissed it. Maybe the very same security people, the police and the army and those guys, would have heard that, boy, I hear them fellas and them plotting so and so, and they might have said, boy, them fellas ain't had the means to do that, and if they do that, we go come out so and so,
So Charles, it was said back then that some of the guys who even went there didn't even know what they was going to do.
Yeah, well, I went down that because at the end of the all, I remember there's a time Gary would say that certain things that they will go on, they'll pick up certain people and they will carry them. Sometimes only when they reach, they will know what they're going to do because only the key people will know what is going on. So I could guess all these things. But people hear what? Give us a call now. 281-1315-299-5156. You can respond to the poll in between this area here. I mean, if you have a comment on the poll, I don't know if anybody on our chat has anything that they would have said that Wendell would have intercepted.
Lots of people in the chat this morning.
Yeah, anybody would have had any comments that Wendell would have probably intercepted and said, okay, well, this making sense. But we are taking your calls, right? So 281-1315-299-5156. All right, Dabity, good morning.
Good morning, Charles.
Morning, Dabity.
Long time I haven't spoken to you about
I know, good and say that. You was on holidays or?
Not yet, but I was listening, but it just I don't get through. So I don't. If I had time to sit down and try phone, 24, 30 times.
Yeah, you are busy lady.
Yeah, I don't have that time. Anyway, we got in the morning poll, even though I voted no. But even though I wanted to say yes, it will come like as no, because we will not hear the results of that investigation. Whatever they investigated for anyone to be detained for the next 6 to 8 years. So that is a fooling thing. They just give it up to, as the old talk say, they just give it up a whole. That ain't gonna happen. They could appoint 10 persons, but we're not going to get any information from that. And I'll stop there because I want to call back later.
Okay. Yeah. That is the thing about thing,
But Sir Charles, I also think there's a responsibility on the part of security services, if it is that we have that general net, that all conversations are being listened to, and only when keywords are said, like bomb or bullet or whatever, that triggers another level of scrutiny. That when you scrutinize conversations, that you should know from your intelligence training whether or not this is seriously a threat or this is just venting. Because for the majority of Trinidadians and Tobagonians listening to that audio tape, they took it as venting. The majority took it as venting. They did not. And people went on to say, even editorials, that many Trinidadians in snackets and in liming spots and up say similar things. Say things along when they're venting and they're angry about stuff like that. And this is why I said, Sir Charles, at the time that it happened, that the Prime Minister and the AG were inappropriate in singling out the 1% community, because 1% has a connotation and a context in a Trinidad and Tobago situation. And they could try, to say, 1% could mean anything. That's not what it means in Trinidad and Tobago.
You're absolutely
Stop playing foolish with the intelligence of the public of Trinidad and Tobago. When you say things like, the 1% could mean anybody, only 1%. No, that's not what it means in Trinidad and Tobago. And when you go in Parliament and you say certain things, and then you use a conversation like that to say, well, this is what has happened, it rings in a particular way for the population of Trinidad and Tobago who are now privy to hearing it.
Right, hold on.
Richard, you have just redeemed yourself from early on, because I'm happy you reminded people about what was said about this particular community in the Parliament when it said that Tetron awaits you, and then the Attorney General pointed across the floor in the Parliament at members of the opposition and said, "I'm coming for you and those couldn't those be considered threats?" All of that were considered threats. Come on, man. You're playing this fool in this country, man.
All right, hold on there, Wendell. Caller, good morning.
Morning, Wendell.
Morning.
I was having a conversation yesterday with some people concerning the same matter. And I want to find out what will make the security service in Trinidad and Tobago, the SSS or whoever they intercept your conversation. What warrant that? What will make them want to do that? What?
Because I think the world that we're living in, and with terrorism and all those different kinds of things, Mr. Patrick.
So then, well, who is that target? So is everybody conversation intercepted?
Well, if your conversation go in a particular direction, I mean, if you
how you will know that? How them will know you in your house in your family house walking?
Well, if you're saying, darling, honey, I love you, no problem, they ain't going to accept that.
No.
But if you go on the road and say, boy, you see the Prime Minister.
Charles, you're missing his point, though. His point is that what would get them to start monitoring you in the first place?
Yes, what you do, you your bedroom with your wife or your husband or whoever, and just have a conversation about how the society is going and how people doing things. Then your private home, how them know you having that conversation? So want to cap your house.
You Mr. Patrick, you're right in a sense that how does the state allocate the resources? Because unless, of course, it's completely automated and all conversations are being listened into, or is it that you have to choose from the resources you have, who are you going to target? And is it this is all speculative, is it that the state, because of what they said in Parliament, zoned in on a particular community and were listening to all of the conversations in that community?
Yep, I think that's what happened, Richard. Because if you listen to that conversation, it was said 22 more will lose their visas.
It's just two women in a house having a conversation and knees and a hand. And you intercept people private conversation.
And if that is true, that they just zoned in on a particular community to actually listen to, well, then that is really very concerning for Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And then zoning in, and all these fellas who on this murderous campaign all over the place. What about them? We ain't listen to them?
Well, maybe that is how we have all the other. It's how many people they have on PDOs. I seen somebody was saying like 100.
Charles, you know what people on PDO for? Huh? They set people on PDO for all manner trivialities, you know.
Yeah, but it may have some of them people on PDOs for serious things also, Wendell. How the murders keep happening still then?
And Sir Charles, if they are on a PDO for serious things, then charge them.
And I agree with all that, Richard. I agree with that. But
charge them.
Yeah. And then remember this particular conversation, we don't know what is the other parts of it that they have, so we are just going on what the part that is outside.
Well, we are speculating. We are speculating, but if it is that they're zoning on a particular community and they indicated that they were in Parliament, and that is why I said it was silly of the Prime Minister and the AG to make those kinds of statements in Parliament. But you indicated in Parliament before the entire country that you are zoning in on a particular community. How is that good for any country?
Mm-hmm. All right, so our poll results, Wendell, and we continue with your calls, people.
Yeah, our poll results are up. Oh boy. All right. Of course, we asked, do you expect anyone to be detained by the TTPS over the leaked audio file? 8% of you said yes. 92% of you said no. 8% said yes, you expect detention, you expect heads to roll. 92% of you said no. All right? 92% of you said no. There are so many things that are taking place in this country that we just can't seem to get it right. I don't know. Anyway, we open up the lines in terms of. Sorry, Richard.
No, go on.
Yeah, no, we open up the lines. Anybody who want to contribute to.
So the lines are open to you. 281-131-529-9156. Caller, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Front and center.
Morning.
I'll take the licks in a moment here, Wendell, but let me share something.
Lick.
This is like the Keystone Cops who have been operating this so-called operation. And I'll tell you why. If I want to bust a man's head, I'll make it in layman terms so the average person can understand, right? And I want to use a certain type of bottle. And Wendell tell me he have, because they don't advertise in your show, I'm not going to call the brand, okay? So Wendell tell me he have a beer bottle in a green, small green bottle. He could use that. Now, all this is being wiretapped, right? But it's really electronic surveillance. Wiretap is when you had regular lines, phone lines. So, electronic surveillance. And they listen to this. And want to bust a fella head. And you're looking for the right weapon to do it. And then Sir Charles say he have another bottle, a lot bigger, regular beer bottle of a certain brand that starts with C. That ain't good enough. But then Richard tell me he have a sweet drink bottle starts with S and it's big and it's thick. Yes, I want that. So you wiretap all that. And instead of waiting until I go do the transaction, like the feds or the FBI, and certain members of the German were arrested in Florida when they were trying to bring guns into Trinidad. They were being, electronically surveillance and other undercover operations, but they wait until the transaction is taking place. It could be an FBI agent, it could be ATF or whoever. Then you nab them and you go to court with that. And you have the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. You see what I'm coming with? I'm glad you're bringing that up, because obviously that attempted coup in 1990 showed glaring indications of a lapse in the intelligence infrastructure in Trinidad and Tobago. Because what you're omitting is that there was a defense force camp right next to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was set up, an army camp was set up right next to them. And saw the cars leaving.
Yep.
Yes. And I can tell you now, right, that when I lived in Trinidad, a little while before I left, okay, I was in a car park somewhere in Independence Square, somewhere there, that's between two certain streets. And I get out of the vehicle, and who I see sleeping right next to me, but the imam and another fella. And I say, Lord, do you see how innocent people is die? And this is before the coup. We're talking about maybe 10 years before. Right? But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But Fellas, you understand what I'm saying? Why? That's why people don't have no confidence in not just the police service, but our governments. UNC, PNM, I don't care. Okay? Because you're giving, it's like giving you tools, right? I want to say giving you tools, yes. Whether it's the Israelis, whether it's the Americans, whether whoever, right? You think they're very happy with how this thing has been handled?
All right. Okay, no problem. Thanks very much, Virginia. All right. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Central.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Sir
Morning,
Charles.
morning, sir.
Morning.
Early in the piece, when this the extension of the SOE, the second extension, I made a comment and saying that we, if you're not careful, we're heading down the road of El Salvador. And I called and asking if I have a crystal ball to know what will happen. If you have a crystal ball, we're watching the development and what's taking place in El Salvador. And El Salvador didn't reach where it reached in one go, you know. Incrementally as they extend the SOE, I think it's 50-something times. Well, for nearly going on 4 years. For 5 years, they had the SOE running continuously, right? Until it reached to the stage where it is now, that they lock up every dissenting voice, right? And I was watching the same trend. As you have a dissenting voice, what happened to this guy, the Johan Harry, the Alicia Phillips, right? The media people, even police officers in El Salvador who have a dissenting voice of what is going on, right? Political people. So when these things happening, we need to speak out, right? To nip it in the bud. Otherwise, we'll end up right there, right? We have people locked away in El Salvador. People don't even know if they're living or they're dead. The relatives kind of know their whereabouts, right? So we have to be careful, you know, going down the road. And when I say, sometimes I call in and I'm making a contribution, and when I see I going on a certain line, I get some kind of interruption on my phone, the phone cutting off, I get it singing and all kinds of stupidness, right? So I feel I'm listening to everybody conversation, right? So where's our privacy and our kind of thing? Now, if they have intelligence and they have information, or they suspect when there is a gang member or this one, because clearly, as you said, the PDOs, they're locking up the wrong people because we're still at 200 and something murders, so 200 and something people, right? Who was supposed to be on PDOs to prevent the murders are not locked up, right? And then they're giving people PDO for all kind of frivolous kind of reason. Where are we going with that? Where's the ending? Where's the justification? So we need to speak out, right? We need to. Meanwhile, when last the government accounters, right? When we had a post cabinet media briefing or anything, all this thing happening and we're not hearing nothing from the authorities or the government or anything, right? So I'll end it there. Let's lock down and listen.
Okay, thanks very much. Here's an interesting thing. As the caller talked about El Salvador, he talked about the what they might call it, creeping dictatorship. But he did not talk about it. So it started here, and it ended up. So it started with 1, 2, and it ended up with how many hundreds. But he did not also identify what the crime situation was like, where it started, and how much thousands it was going in a particular direction. So they had a crime situation that was spiraling out of control, where you couldn't even come out your house. And that is why they went in that direction. So is it that if they did not go in that direction, think about what the crime situation would have been like there. So they used something to suit their situation. Our situation might be a lot different.
Locking up anybody with a dissenting voice is treating with crime, Sir Charles?
Anybody?
With a dissenting voice.
Yeah, but how many? Anyway, let me not go down that direction with you. No,
you said it. You said it.
Let me ask you a question. You locked up?
Huh?
You lock up?
No, I'm not.
And use a dissenting voice?
No, I don't consider myself a dissenting voice. I consider myself a truthful voice.
You ain't locked up. Look at yours.
I am a truthful voice. I speak the truth.
Okay.
I speak the truth regardless if it's against the government or in favor of the government. Regardless if it's against the opposition or in favor of the opposition. I speak my truth. That's it.
All right. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, breakfast show.
Morning, Mr. Billy. Go ahead.
Yeah, hearing your feedback. I just want to say, I agree with Wendell. He just speak the truth from since 4:1 or 2. So I in his corner this morning. But what I want to speak about this morning is something I saw last night come on the news, where they charged the operator of the jet ski. Maybe this question is for the attorney there, Mr. Stephen. What is his name? Raghubathi. Richard Raghubathi. Yeah. Maybe this is for him, right? I saw where the DPP gave instructions to charge the young man who is operator and he killed the child. I want to know, I saw something about a month ago or 3 weeks ago, so where the family, well, the lawyers and them representatives sue the THA. Will that sue stand, seeing now that they charge the operator? I want to ask him how that is go, because it's kind of confusing when I see how they sue them.
No, well, it's two different approaches. It's two different approaches to the court system. You can have a civil case, which is what that is, running alongside a criminal case. That's quite normal or acceptable. So you can have a civil case running alongside a criminal case. So the civil case is looking for compensation and holding that a particular institution may have been negligent in their duties and did not do their proper duty of care owed to people visiting facilities that they may have regulatory control over. So that's a separate issue from the criminal charges that the DPP would proffer.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr.
So, Charles, just to go back to the El Salvador situation that what the caller called about and you might have missed. He said how it started out, you know. El Salvador didn't reach there overnight, you know. It took a process for them, years of them extending SOEs, extending state of emergencies to get where they are, you know. Where eventually it may started off exactly as you pointed out, to deal with a burgeoning crime situation. And then it got to, well, all right, we could lock up this one now, he says this. We could lock up that one.
Yeah, you know, you're right, Wendell. And I think part of it, Sir Charles, is that I don't think that necessarily politicians start off to be authoritarian. But there's an old adage that says, absolute power corrupts. And it's true about human nature. So when you have absolute power, or the power becomes more and more intoxicating, you become blind. You have blind spots to your actions, and you become more and more ruthless because you know you can get away with it because you have the power. All right? So I'm not saying that that's a Trinidad and Tobago situation, but I'm just talking from a historical perspective. That's how humans have operated. And so that's why when democracy reared its head as part of the historical birth of democracy across the planet, a lot of it sometimes accredited to the French and the French Revolution, it became now, what are the guardrails that you have against that in Western democracies, which we are patterned after? What are the guardrails that you put up? Where are they going? You know, and to prevent that. But sometimes, depending on the leader you have, they can try and circumvent those guardrails. You just have to look to our neighbor to the north and see how much they are applying pressure to those guardrails and trying to weaken those guardrails to achieve particular ends. But you also have pushback from a vigilant group or groups that are saying, no, you can't just do away with those guardrails. Let's go to court. And that's why they're so litigious in terms of, and very litigation oriented in terms of protecting those guardrails and letting the courts decide, which is what I always say here, let the courts decide. Let's know where the boundaries are, where the lines drawn. I always talk about that I don't mind certain things going to court because it draws the lines in areas, because we are a relatively young country, the constitutional strength of the parameters that we have sometimes are untested. And sometimes you need to see that they hold in terms of going under judicial scrutiny, even if it has to go to the Privy Council.
Okay. Kola, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Kola.
The 131 million US, I think, is it, that the US judge awarded this country. It seems as though this government wants to spend it on paying out compensation when this SOE is over. Because the amount of people will be suing this government, the courts wouldn't have room. It is so ridiculous. I mean, I don't know when the Minister of National Security, the Prime Minister will see this SOE ain't making no sense. Crime going every morning, you hear the news, 2 get murdered, 3 get murdered. What the hell going on? And all you're continuing with this foolishness? This Homeland Security Minister, this man, this really upset me with the nonsense. Good Lord, man. So everybody say something. You go and pull them in? What's going on here? My God, but anyway, as I say, plenty of them were saying yellow is the code. They must be holding their head and falling now. Because when they get locked up, they get fired. Look at, I watch a video where Philip Alexander gone in Shaffer's apartment and talking about he going and shut down all who are private business in the compound. Nobody's a private business in the compound. What's that? So you know, people.
You know, Paula, I was not going and talk about that. I don't like speaking about that, man. But that is a classical example of power corrupting absolutely. That is a classic example of that.
This man is so sick. I don't know why Camilla still has this disrespect. Still, anyway, she must know why. All you're sending on Kadisha, I mean, sending on 50,000 people from CPEP. And somebody trying to open up, they have a mini-mart or they have whatever, and you come in to talk about, I'm going to shut it down. Nobody ain't going to have no private business here, the garage. I say, what the hell are you hearing? Boy, well, I tell you, if we ain't watch ourselves, we could end up like Venezuela. I feel them Venezuelans go start to head back home. The rate this country going.
Thanks very much, Mr.
Yeah,
Goma.
I watched that video and I'm saying this is a government minister confronting people and saying, shut down your garage, your business, your little hustle that you're trying to do, albeit it might be illegal or unauthorized. Let me say unauthorized because it's not illegal, it's unauthorized, right? In a AGC compound. And there are several garages or small businesses like that operating in AGC compound. Fine, let AGC deal with it now. There are departments that deal with it. Let the local government. But a minister confronting people, I saying what madness our priorities are all screwed up now. Mm-hmm. We are screwed up badly. That is a news item. That is a thing now. So go over in the drug blocks and shut them down now. I dare you to do that. Go where the fellas hiding the guns and thing and committing all this crime. Go do that. Man fixing car, that is a big thing. That is madness. That is a classic example of power corrupting absolutely.
Well, I don't know if that is exactly about power being corrupting absolutely, Wendy.
Richard, because you don't know the individual.
I'm take the individual out of it. But you brought up a point.
Let me finish.
let me finish. If it's unauthorized, it's unauthorized. So the fact that somebody may have a garage that, and I'm not saying I don't know who has a garage there or whatever, but I'm just saying, if under your HDC agreement, you're not supposed to have X, Y, and Z, that being enforced is not an issue of a corruption of power. You may
Richard,
not.
I'm not. No. You have me wrong. I'm not speaking about the fact that it's an authorized, an unauthorized thing that needs attending to. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about a government minister going in tow with cameras, confronting the individual and behaving. Maybe you haven't seen the video.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, watch the video and then come back with your opinion. Because I hear you depart with the unauthorization. Trust me, that has been an issue for years, all over HGC compound. I don't think there's an HGC compound without that. Maybe one.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Maybe
we are going for
that one in St. James don't have that problem. You know?
We are going for the news at 8 o'clock, and we will rejoin people. So stay with us here on NETT Radio.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on NETT Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says the latest TTPS CompStat report shows serious crime is declining under the government's anti-crime strategy. According to the figures, serious reported crimes fell by 15%, from 6,469 between January 1st and July 20th last year, to 5,514 over the same period this year, a drop of 955 offenses. The Prime Minister said the largest reductions were recorded in the Northern, Northeastern, Eastern, and Central divisions. She credited the progress to the government's anti-crime measures and the ongoing state of emergency, while acknowledging that more work is needed to further reduce crime. A high court judge has ordered the release of 69-year-old businesswoman Star Sabga on house arrest after ruling there was insufficient evidence to justify her continued detention. Justice Vigil Paul questioned why Sabga remained in custody after Dominic and Genevieve Hadid were released, saying there was no evidence she took any steps to further an alleged conspiracy beyond a private telephone conversation. The judge said intelligence alone was not enough to justify ongoing detention. State attorneys have applied for a stay of the ruling, meaning Sabga's release could be delayed pending further court proceedings. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles is calling on the government and national leaders to recommit to Trinidad and Tobago's democratic principles as the country marks the 36th anniversary of the July 27, 1990 attempted coup. In a statement, Beckles warned against actions that undermine public trust, democratic institutions, and citizens' constitutional rights. She said democracy depends on respect for differing opinions, civil liberties, and the rule of law. Beckles also paid tribute to the 24 people who lost their lives during the attempted coup, urging citizens to reject violence as a means of political change and to protect the country's democracy for future generations. Business leaders are marking the 36th anniversary of the 1990 attempted coup, are reflecting on its lasting impact and urging citizens to protect Trinidad and Tobago's democracy. TTCSI President Diane Joseph and Chaguanas Chamber President Baldath Maharaj recalled the fear, uncertainty, and economic disruption caused by the crisis, saying it highlighted the importance of peace, stability, and the rule of law. TTMA Chief Executive Dr. Ramesh Ramdeen also paid tribute to those affected, while praising the resilience of the country's business sector and its role in driving economic growth and diversification since the events of 1990. Police have charged a 32-year-old Canaan man with manslaughter over the death of 7-year-old Angelica Jogi, following advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions. Angelica died on April 8th after she was struck by a jet ski while bathing with relatives at Pigeon Point Heritage Park in Tobago. Police said the jet ski entered an area designated for bathers, leaving the child with fatal injuries. The suspect was initially arrested after the incident, but later released pending further investigations. He was rearrested this week and is expected to appear before the court. Finally, the United States says it is moving to rebuild its weapons stockpiles after spending an estimated US $37.5 billion on munitions during nearly 40 days of fighting with Iran earlier this year. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has asked Congress for an additional $87 billion to address equipment shortages, while analysts say some key missiles, including Tomahawk cruise missiles and Patriot interceptors, could take several years to replace. The concern comes as military planners continue to monitor rising tensions with China over Taiwan, with experts warning that maintaining adequate weapons stockpiles remains critical to U.S. national security. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
You are listening to the Emancipation Story right here on New Era TT Radio. Today we are taking a look back as to why we celebrate emancipation. This week across the Caribbean, and of course right here at home, we pause to honor a powerful legacy, the emancipation of African people from slavery. But what exactly are we remembering? Where did all of this begin? And why does it still matter today? So let's take a moment to reflect. Slavery of African people began over 500 years ago, when the transatlantic slave trade brought millions of men, women, and children from West and Central Africa to the Caribbean, also to the Americas and to Europe. They did not come on luxury liners or willingly decided to move from where they were. They were ripped from their homelands. They were stripped of freedom and forced to labor on plantations, especially sugar, cotton, and tobacco. And it was under some very brutal and inhumane conditions. This horror began in the early 1500s and lasted more than 300 years. But our ancestors did not remain silent. They fought, they rebelled, they prayed, they hoped, they resisted, and they did so in every way that they could. And alongside abolitionists and freedom fighters across the world, they helped bring slavery to its knees. In the British Empire, it was the Slavery Abolition Act of 1833 that signaled the beginning of the end. But real freedom came on August 1st, 1838, when enslaved Africans in the Caribbean were finally released from the so-called apprenticeship system. And that is why August 1st is Emancipation Day. It is a day of triumph and remembrance. free to speak their own language, free to own land, free to raise their families without chains, free to dream. So as we celebrate Emancipation Week, take some time to remember it's not just history, it's legacy, it's heritage. It's not just about freedom from slavery, but about freedom to rise, freedom to build, freedom to heal, freedom to honor our roots, and to shape the future. So what does that mean for us today? It means that we are the result of someone else's sacrifice. Every freedom we enjoy today was paid for in blood, sweat, and silence. So let us not waste it. Let us walk with pride. Let us educate our children about their roots. Let us treat each other with dignity, knowing that our ancestors endured the worst so we could live better today. And most of all, let us be builders of a legacy that future generations will also celebrate. You're listening to the Emancipation Story on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, taking you above and beyond.
All aboard! Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts, Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs: Sir Child, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early
them who's
bird
a big
tickets
dancer.
are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Crep, Pats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall, and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Halloween on the scene.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
All right, we are back. So Charles, you there?
Nope, it's Peter in the studio now.
Oh, Peter. Hi, Peter. How are you doing?
Morning.
All right. Yeah, morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm sure Richard will jump back in a bit. All right. So, we could go straight into opening the lines again. I don't know if I had sent a couple clips to Sir Charles and the guys yesterday for them to show. One is with Renuka Sagam Singh Suklal. The other one, of course, is the Welcome Back with Dominic Hadid. And of course, the third one was with the confrontation with the Guyanese Prime Minister, because I know a lot of you all actually now knowing who is the Prime Minister of Guyana. But he had a confrontation with someone yesterday, and it was interesting. And I had sent all those clips for us to show.
No, but it doesn't. We have those clips, but we do have calls coming in already.
Yeah, take the calls.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, caller, go ahead.
Right, morning to me again. So I want to ask you something that transpired earlier. The Attorney General, if what I'm reading is correct, the Attorney General found that the independent SOE tribunal gave recommendations for the Hadiths to be released. And because they did not get their way, that is the state, did not get their way, the Minister of Homeland Security had to sign off and revoke it. And now he has turned around to sue the independent SOE tribunal. How come? So
who's suing the independent tribunal?
The Attorney General. I read that the Attorney General. And is it that they have a budget of their own, or they get whether you get another attorney from to use? I read it. So I wonder what's happening here. So that is one. The other thing is this. So one.
Caller?
Mute, right. Oh God, yes, I always have a mute, so I'm not on mute. Yeah. The Prime Minister so wants us to believe that this thing ain't over yet. And it's what she said, it is taken international, what? Global things, like it's going further than local. Meaning because the staff got called Trump's name in it. That's why, is it? So, in other words, putting fear in people now. Or they can't say this and all they can't say that. To me, I am going to talk how I was talking all the time. They're just creating fear mongering in people. And the final thing, I take some time to read some comments, and these UNC supporters or wherever, I don't know what they call them. When they talk about racial, the word that the lady used, racial, the Prime Minister used it for herself on 2 occasions, and you all showed it, one of it yesterday. How is it that when they were calling Dr. Rowley ape and monkey and Ori and all these names, those terms weren't racial? And the Prime Minister talk about this racial country and whatever racial things for one community. One community, yeah? So why is it that word was racial towards one community? She said not her, a community. So she put in everybody who's of Eastern innocent as that person calling them a certain name. Whereas when the foot she was on the other foot, people of African descent, when Dr. Rowley was called those names, that also affected them. And when she called Camille Robertson saying that she slapped slave master name, what was that? So you see, if you go to study and run there, you go crazy. It's like I go talk normal and act normal. They two hypocrites, and whatever name, I'm not going to say the name, I won't say it in there, but they are a waste of time. Have a good day, Peter.
All right. Okay, take care. Which is why I thought Renuka Sagram Singh Suklal, her comment was interesting, and a lot of people supported it because she said she is not offended, but at the same time, you can't be calling people names and to expect people to call you names. You know, people are human, and I mean, sometimes I get so tired, as I tell you all of this, please, so tiring. But we soldier on. We have a program to do, and so you kind of keep yourself informed. Otherwise, trust me, as I tell all you many times before, I wouldn't be watching the news. I wouldn't be reading the papers. I'd just be relaxing, and that's what I'm trying to do most these days because I have a lot on my plate that I just need to relax and take it easy.
All right. Well, we do have another caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Okay, nice to be on. When this government was in office the last time, someone called me and I asked them how the hell they get my phone number. So this phone tapping has been going on for a long while. But what I called to find out, you know, there's these guys that tell you how to use your phone. One was asking the other day, the green dot at the right corner of your phone, they were showing you how to remove it because they said that once you see that on your phone, you know somebody is tapping your phone.
What?
And
a green dot on the right corner of your phone? Never hear that.
Sometimes it doesn't be on.
Where you was going to check your phone, you know, but you need to check the certification.
I come off the station now. That green dot will move. It's on the right corner. Sometimes when you put on the phone, you'll see a little mic and the mic will disappear and the green dot. That green dot, you need to, they show you how to get it and save it, but I haven't gotten the time yet to do that. But it's not easy in this place. It's not.
But Samson, take a screenshot of it and send it first when you see the green dot. Take a screenshot of it. You know how to do a screenshot?
Yeah,
screenshot it and send it so we can see this green dot on your phone.
On top of that, somebody called me. It was on the phone while I was on the phone because it has been on my phone. And I asked the guy, I said, are you trying to find your mother? This is the wrong phone. And they hung up. Let me see if I can send it to you.
Okay. Richard, you have a green dot?
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. Do not drag me into that conversation, please.
Oh, Jesus. You have an next call, Peter? Peter, where? Oh, jeez. Lord, Father. This is hard.
281-1315. 281-1315.
Look, Kim Gova says she saw a green dot on her phone too. But what's going on here?
The green, I recently started noticing the green dot in the corner of my screen when you're on a call. It really is there, but I never really like
a green dot.
Much. Yeah, it's like
where?
Like usually it's next to like
up on the top.
Yeah, on the top right of your phone.
That
like
is not the
battery.
That is not the thing for installing apps. That is not what a green dot for.
I have no clue.
It's not a dot, it's a kind of symbol. It's green and then it have a little white thing inside. But that's for apps, when you're installing apps, not so. Like I installed an app the other day. I absolutely loved it. It is a ringtone where it says, answer your phone. Get up and answer your phone. And then they have a next one with a Chinese saying, your phone is ringing. Your phone is ringing.
Anyway, we have another call on the line.
Good
morning.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. Richard Wendell.
Morning.
I listened to your news a while ago, and I understand the Prime Minister is making or defending that saying that serious crimes went down from 6,000 to 5,000 for the same period, January to now, last year and this year. But yet still, when she spoke about murders, she made a comparison with this year
and 2024.
2024. What was the reason for that?
That's when
So
they came into
you're choosing what you want to justify your situation. And before I go, Richard, is the SSA a gazetted position? Because I would like to know who is the head of the SSA. Is there any way that I can get that information, or do I have to use freedom of information act to get it?
Well, I found out who's the head the other day. Let me see if I find the message. The head of the SSA. I don't know that these things are secret, and
I don't see why they should be.
no, the head of the SSA is somebody. My sources tell me is somebody by the name of Roger McLean. That's who is the head of the SSA. I had gotten a name before of a woman, but I was told that that's not the person. Somebody had put in the chat here, it was Alicia Henry. Our chat, somebody had put that name. It was Alicia Henry. But somebody also messaged me after and said it's Roger McLean.
I think I've seen that in the paper somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, we have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Go ahead, Mr. Grant.
Everything great.
We all right.
How you what happened? I know some politics, because I tell you a long time since the lady was Attorney General under the NER. She had been leading and she was free. But sometimes yesterday when Granny was trying to say some eye test, because I had to do something in Monto. And I tell them, look, so I would like to get postponed. You know what they give me? 2029.
Oh my God.
For what?
So I tell myself, I can't get blood because you're special. 2029.
That's crazy.
So the doctor asked me, same by this public bacchanal. So I said, let me tell you. And the next thing, that's the road of going up Grande in the road. It's in a mess. I see a rubber sheep day. But in the road. It's about 3 to 4 months. I line. I just pass on. I just drive and watch and observe. The grass high. I know when the cotton is so certain place. But the place in a mess. Okay, later. All the best.
All right.
2029? With 2026, they made a mistake. I think they make a mistake.
But it has not
3 years from now, for something with your eyes?
That was so unusual,
No, that have to be a mistake.
Oh Lord. What's coming up now? What's coming up in Trinidad and Tobago? We have a holiday this Saturday, people. Don't forget. And don't forget the friends of Hillary Benjamin having that concert for her this weekend on Sunday, August 2nd. It's happening at the St. Francois Girls College, right? Hillary contacts her child directly so he can put things in place for your giveaway, the ticket giveaway tomorrow, Tuesday and Friday. All right? I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
But our boat ride is coming up. Sorry, Richard. Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to tell people 281-1315, 281-1315, or 299-5156. We are taking your calls.
Mm-hmm. I got 2 calls yesterday about supporting the boat ride. Morning, Ms. Hayatali, and morning, Mr. Pigott. Both pledged to come and purchase some tickets for the August 15 boat ride. Right?
We do have another caller.
Good morning. Wendell is just a green dot. I'm doing the screenshot, but it's not working. It's just.
I know what it is. I know what it is, Miss Sampson. I know what it is. I saw it. I know what you're talking about. It's when you install an app on the phone.
No, all right, okay.
Yeah, nobody listening to you. Right? You're safe.
All right.
Just don't say certain things on your phone and you're good to go. Because you know you could be a star sapga when you're ready, yeah? You could tell it like it is, yeah?
I'm trying to watch my mouth.
All right.
Oh my God. Poor Star Sabga, her name is now a national. Oh my God. The fiery ant that I think everybody has. Every family. Yeah, every family has at least one.
I suspect Miss Samson is that kind of aunt. She must be let loose. Remember when she used to talk about the Venezuelans early in the day, Richard, and it used to annoy you?
Me? Yes.
Yes. You remember when she used to call in and talk about them Venezuelans? Remember? Miss Samson could be that aunt.
But it's good, you know, it's good that Star Sabga is, you know, at least out of the system. If the reason is for that phone call, and obviously the judge felt that way too. That's why he said, no, I'm not detaining this woman anymore. What is your evidence?
Yes,
you know?
that's
so I think
legal.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, being in prison for a month, I mean, and at the age of what is she? Is she 69?
69 going on 70. I guess the chief.
Yeah. I mean, she shouldn't have had to go through that. I don't know if she's a listener to this program. Maybe she is, you know, you never know.
We'd love to have her on the show.
Yeah, but you know, but she would have had, well, she will have even more to say now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of what she would have gone through over at this point, an audio leaked conversation that has made the rounds across Trinidad and Tobago, at least speculatively. That's what we'll have to say.
And just for information purposes, this is what Justice Vigil Paul had to say, right? The allegation must be measured against the evidence before the court. 2, there is an absence of evidence placing her in any conspiracy. 3, the court cannot see how continued detention of this elderly applicant could be necessary for the disruption of the alleged conspiracy. And that is the part I had alluded to earlier on when this issue had come up. How could jailing people, putting people on PDOs, stop a conspiracy of the magnitude that they were being accused of doing? How could jailing them stop that? When we have heard and seen so many things happening, shots calling from the prison and so on, how could jailing them stop the conspiracy? It just didn't make sense. And the government has made such a mess of this alongside the TTP.
The state is not enamoring itself at all to the general public of Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm talking about the general Trinidad and Tobago, even including UNC supporters. The state, they are not, it's like people are like, wait, what? This is what all of this is about? You know, and so look at the welcome that Dominic Hadid got.
From
his employees,
a wide cross section of people, eh?
Yeah, his employees obviously love him.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't acting, that was, you know, that wasn't performative.
No.
Anyway, we're taking some calls, 281-1315.
The lines seem to be quiet right now.
We could talk. We're good at talking. So don't forget, friends of Hillary Benjamin, a concert/comedy show featuring Larry Joseph is on this Sunday at St. Francois Girls College. The contribution is only $175. So, of course, you can contact Hillary. Tomorrow, we'll give away 2 tickets to the concert. Hillary will come up with some questionnaire. And we will give away 2 tickets to the concert. All right? Of course, some other news yesterday was about... I don't know. I'm going to read this one.
Well, before you continue, we managed to bring in our caller. So, caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you going?
I'm good.
Richard and Wendell, morning again.
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
Well, we just minister went like a bad one and a dictator, boy. It have a process, boy. You know what I mean? You got to write letter and so people notice something.
For what?
If you have a illegal...
The HGC thing you're talking about?
Huh?
The HGC thing you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a way to do it.
But you gotta go on in there and you telling people, hey, bring people and hammer and let me bring them this and man, people think that right.
Listen, I have seen, Mr. Patrick, sorry to interrupt here. I have seen people with illegal stuff in Port of Spain take the corporation to court and win it.
The man going in there and he telling the lady and the lady I'm frightened. Get a crew now and security and all that. Now you people that do things by. Every time I go back, you don't have a process, so sometimes you might even have to go to court.
There is a process for any unauthorized thing. There is a process. You must be served notices. You just, and that's why I always said local government was stuck, because the amount of red tape you have to go through to fix a problem. But if you leave a problem, and that person has security at 10-year there without you ever informing them, they will end up in the right, and courts rule in favor of people like that.
Somebody could say something. That's why law for that. If you don't deal with that matter within a certain time, you have a problem.
Yes.
But how the minister moving by? You ever watch the movie by Chucky and the bag? I go there.
Yeah. The less said about that fella, the better, yes? Honestly. The less said about him, the better. He probably taking Gary bait now to try to justify his salary. But we are still taking your calls. We just have a few minutes left. We are still actually live on Gael, Gael giving us a little extension this morning. But we taking your calls. We could take a few more. And tomorrow we will have Anderson Mahace as our guest briefly to talk about his ascension and his how should I put it, his pick on the Antigua Barbuda team, the CPL franchise. Of course, CPL is coming back to the Queen's Park Oval. 5 matches are scheduled for the Queen's Park Oval. We haven't had CPL at the Oval in this manner for a little while. The Oval has been, I don't know. But apparently a lot of cricket is coming back to the Oval, including a test match coming up this weekend. The test match is still continuing down at the Brian Lara Stadium today. West Indies is not in a very good position, folks. They are not. But we'll see how that the pitch looks like it's deteriorating. So who knows? That may favor the West Indies.
All right, we do have another caller coming in. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, morning again, Wendell.
Morning, sir.
I sit back thinking here, right? And I know you guys, this is my feeling. The reason why you have this program is because you want to make a contribution and you want to see a better Trinidad and Tobago. And maybe with the discourse we have in, it might fall on the right ears and it may nudge them or get them to realize a position that they wasn't thinking about, or some kind of situation that is having the citizen disenchanted or whatever, right? Now, I was listening to, after I make my contribution, I comment that Sir Charles make, right? So he seemed to be thinking when I brought up the El Salvador thing that the ends justify the means. Right? So if you have plenty drunk then, and you, let's say Maracas, and you close down Maracas and stop anybody from going to the beach, and then you claim that the amount of drunk then decrease. Right? It's the same kind of thing. My take on the whole thing is that the best crime prevention method is detection, which is woefully short in the police service. When you detect the crime, then you can get data, we can extrapolate things. Why is this person, you can get into the criminal mind. Why is this person doing that? Is it socioeconomic thing? Is it poverty? Is it lack of thing? Was the person a hurt person? Because not everybody who kill people and things is from poverty and all that, But when we detect them, you can get the data and get a profile and see how to, because it's a long-term solution we're looking at, right? Now, in El Salvador, we're getting this short-term measure because their gangs is a more defined thing. And the gang members have certain tattoo, they tattoo themselves and all kind of work on different tattoo. From the time you watch them, right? No, it's not necessarily so, but from the time you see somebody, so everybody who have a tattoo, the police lock up all of them. So if you watch anything now, El Salvador have the largest prison population per capita in the world. We can take that approach in Trinidad and Tobago. The state will not have the resources and there's some mine prisoners. There's 118,000 prisoners they have in El Salvador. Mega prison. If you watch the prison, somebody sells 100 people. They had a crowd join, they can't sleep comfortable, sit down properly. Is that the kind of condition we want to go to? Unless we sit down and say, listen, right? So if you want to give up all your civil liberty and everything, just to say the crime figures go down, and we can't take this thing saying, well, who getting PDOs? Richard, you have a PDO? When did you have a PDO? Yes. But when it comes to you or your family, your children, no, then you have a problem. Right? You gotta take a holistic view. Right? And everybody in the mindset, right, that what is going on in the country now is not right. This state of emergency thing had to come to an end, and we take some more intelligent approach. Because the poverty ain't going away, the opportunities are a matter of fact decreasing because all them companies are closing down, business closing down, all kind of stuff and like that. Right? Does the end justify the means? Thank you.
And the whole issue of business confidence. Now on the part of the PDO, and some people justifying the giving up of civil liberties for what they perceive as a greater good is now under scrutiny. That's what I would say is the plus out of this entire situation with the Hadids and Star Sapka. To the point that you have people now like Ramesh Lawrence Mirage articulating that the state of emergency is not for fighting crime. It's not a crime fighting tool, and the constitutional protections are important. So you're hearing now voices starting to come up and be more advocating that this is not the correct approach. Previously, people were a little silent in terms of...
Add Nizam Mohammed to that too, on his call for representation for all these people on PDOs. On PDOs
and stuff like that. So obviously there is a sector of the country that is now starting to push back from the academic perspective or legal profession. At least you have some voices now starting to say, look, no, this is not right. And that you can't accuse of being PNM. Which is important.
True.
Right? True. In a country that's so divided politically. And that's an indication of that there is still vigilance in the country. And that this is not who we are or what we are in terms of how we see Trinidad and Tobago moving forward. So do we have an issue with crime that we need to get control of? Yes. But it still has to be done in a proper constitutional way. And that means that the police has to up their game in terms of following the constitutional parameters, but still doing their job efficiently. And not get a free pass because you are theoretically or practically inefficient in terms of holding people accountable for criminal activity. So a PDO is like a free pass in a sense because you're holding people and you're not charging them.
So, Richard, take a pen right there. Because I reminded people earlier, I think yesterday, that the counter-trafficking unit of the TTPS had an intelligence-led operation where they detained 3 people. One of them is a sitting member of the Defense Force, and 2 others, right? The suspects detained were 3 people, Titus Dubois, who is a Defense Force officer, Francis Carolina Rangel Ojeda, as a Venezuelan national, and a Tobago resident, Damon Dominic Chat. 3 people that they detained in an intelligence-led operation for counter-trafficking. Now, you would think then that with all the work they do, because it requires, I guess, a lot of background work and checking and so on, right? For them to actually go and find 3 people and detain them. But what did you do? You didn't charge them. You put them under PDOs. What is that? It's almost like if the PDOs are being abused now. It's like, as you just said, an easy pass for the TTPS now. You have done the work.
Yeah, because you have not. Yeah, because exactly. So if you are still paying some sort of homage to the constitutional protections, even though under an SOE, that you recognize that, look, from an institutional point of view, that look, I can't detain people just because I can. If they need to be charged, I'm going to charge them. And let the court system decide, which is what the Constitution ultimately envisages, that's what you're going to do. But what you have now is that you have a batch of people that you're holding without charge and maybe going to release without charge, which has caused a case to go all the way to the Privy Council. And it was under your previous state of emergency in 2011. So it's almost as if they slap down by the courts, is what they're saying. Court slap me down and then I'll behave. No, come on. Operate in terms of the leadership of the position that you occupy, in terms of how you manage all of these issues.
Yeah.
Okay, of course,
we are
we are still taking calls, of course. Caller, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. You know, I was waiting here to make a point, but much of what Richard said and Wendell sort of crystallized my thoughts, in the sense that I was looking back at the fact that the government came in with a responsibility to deal with crime. And even if they didn't say in the manifesto that they had a crime plan, one would have anticipated that by now they would have looked at the situation, see the state of emergency as a temporary measure, and after the failure of the social bill, with all the legal advice they have and political advice also, that they would have devised some intervention that would have allowed us to go back to the constitutional way. But that to me is a big disappointment in the light of the non-communication of the Prime Minister on this issue. Once the Zosos bill failed, they seem to use Mr. Pandey's position, throw their hands in the air, and relying solely on a sort of brute force approach. I want to believe that is a reflection of the National Security Council, the Minister of Homeland Security, the Police Commissioner, without any real deep thought into how we might be able to address this thing. And to me, that is the biggest failure of the government in this whole issue, particularly in the absence of communication. The Prime Minister would come and talk about the statistics, but the statistics would suggest that you feel that everything working and is all well and good. But clearly, as you all mentioned, the response of the population I would suggest otherwise, So
yeah.
In a way, it kind of took the wind out of my sails and the point I wanted to make. But I think you should understand what I'm saying there,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The government has lost the script. And I'll tell you why. I would have noted to the Prime Minister issuing a long missive yesterday. She is the one quoting the data. She is the one talking about the scope of this investigation has widened and so on. Those words came from the Prime Minister yesterday, not from the Minister of National Security. The AG has gone completely silent. You understand? She is the one who was taking the lead on dealing with this mess because she recognizes that it's a mess. They have put, but I saying they have put her in a mess. You understand? They have put her in a mess. And she is the one now forced to respond to it and not doing a very good job at it. Because we are not convinced that this thing has any wide scope. Our judges here have found that this thing is wanting to convince them that it's a conspiracy to murder anybody. So you really feel a judge out there going and take that serious? If the local judges didn't take it serious? Yeah, man. We had to be joking, yes? We are laughing stock now around the world. And laughing stock.
Well, I don't think the world is that preoccupied with us. So you have to be preoccupied. You have to be preoccupied with to be able to respond to. So I think you have a kind of PNM ego there that you think
No. Richard, you might be right, because I traveled recently and everywhere we went, people say, where you all from? Jamaica? We say Trinidad and Tobago. What's that?
They have no clue. You all have a state of what? A state of emergency? Why? You had an earthquake or something? No, we have crime. You have crime on your island beyond island. Yeah, we have crime. What kind of crime? Do people steal your mangoes or something?
Yeah, coconut.
I think we have time for one more call.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Richard, Mr. Peter, and to Sir Charles. Hello, you don't come off already. But I voted 2 this morning on the poll. It's nothing surprising. Nobody will get charged. Nobody. That investigation is just for this to just keep the country calm. Another smoke screen again. Every day is something new. I tell you, when we're done with this whole SOE thing, Richard could do a play, but you got to do it in 2031. Because if you do it in 2030, they might want to charge him to unlock him up.
But you worse than the hospital.
You understand? Things are play Richard. And when Richard uses the star out there, you will be the star. You don't know. And next thing too, what I'm watching the other side of the coin to this whole matter of tapping into people's phone calls. My thing is, these are business people. What about the brewing company, the owner of that brewing company? They probably tapped into him too, because at the end of the day, we had to watch this whole thing. Remember when business people go into the bank and it's either before or after this get robbed? I'm asking myself, the TPS don't have rogue element in it. I wouldn't be surprised it have rogue element in this one too, who tap into people's conversation. Or they going in the bank today to take out how much? And these people don't deal with the thousands, they deal with the millions. So if you have a business and you say, here, what's going on? I'm going to do a transaction for X amount of dollars. That is why crime will never stop. I think it's a different level of that, because if you have people intercepting and tapping into people information and the phone call, and I watching, these are business people, these are not regular people on the road.
You just raised a frightening possibility there, I don't think you understand the magnitude of what you now raise,
Brewing company, because his last name is also Sabga. He and all them might be tapping his phone too. But they ain't gonna say it out loud. It's only if they call one word.
and you go see get locked up. But in that case, it would be a different scenario. For them, have money to burn. You understand? And this is why I keep saying the SOE is only for certain people. I remember some time ago, I used to tell Sir Charles, when I called and I said, Sir Charles, this SOE, Laventil, Mova, these people, they will go and bust down the door and grab them and go. But when they live in Woodbrook, the so-called, they say 1%ers, the Syrians and them, they can't just go and bust down the door. They have to make sure come with proper document to take them. And that's why I told them, I hope they cross the T's and dot their I's with this whole thing. And look at it now, it's falling. TTPS, everything is a hopeless case. They will always fall, because you know why? They could never gather evidence. They like to grab and then look for evidence. And then the next question, the evidence that they gather, I hope it could stand up, because you know sometimes when we get in this today, we do a ratchet fee and then we put this, they come, for example, like what went on in January with the guy he had outside and he got killed. I often I haven't heard the ballistic, the bullet that killed him, if it's really from the so-called say, I want to know where she had the gun, or is it from police? Because we're going even further. When they had a young boy who run from the police, and the police officer got killed, and it's a good thing the mother take her child and make sure get lawyer. And when they did the ballistic, the bullet came from a police officer gun, and they was gonna lay charges on the fella for killing the officer. I tell you, it's racket and bubble and everything. I'm not saying it, it is there. And if it didn't have the video with the young man that get killed, but he had outside, did I be saying a different story? And this is what the whole thing I just watch. The muzzling the people of trying to be, you mustn't say nothing. You mustn't say, you can't come out for me time and say something, they're watching you. I want to see how much people they could watch. And that's why I keep saying, you all have a system tapping into people's conversation for that, which I up to now I'm still waiting for the plot. But bandits and criminals who killing and stealing, plotting to steal and kill, or you can't say nothing with that. They say, well, we have intercept. I tell you, TTPS waste of time. Everybody's supposed to be working as one. I don't know. It's like skateboard. They're just scattering all over the place. But anyway, gentlemen,
yeah.
I am just curious. I'm just curious, and maybe this is a question for Gary Griffith. Why would the SSA be placed under the Attorney General's office?
There has been a lot of speculation as to why, since Mr. Jeremy went back there as Attorney General, and I think we actually seeing the results now. A lot of people have offered opinions on that quietly as to why it was done.
Yeah, maybe when next we have Gary on, we could get his opinion on it.
I ain't sure if you want Gary talking that now, he will get you in trouble. Whatever happened to the Venezuelan nationals who had escaped the other day? Have they found them all back?
I know they found back some. I don't know they found back all. I know they found back some.
There were 8 people still missing.
Yeah, I have no clue.
A lot of stories just being buried because it be in a continuous spiral of all manner of stories now. It's just, I don't know what's going to happen between today and tomorrow, people, but all you brace. Brace. You understand? Just brace yourself. But Emancipation Day is coming when we get closer. Well, of course, we are already there. It's next 3 days, 4 days. Emancipation Day is Saturday. Of course, I'm sure there'll be a massive parade in town. And just go out there and be safe and enjoy yourself. The village is open, so you could visit the village and see what they have to offer. They normally have some nice soaps and so on. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm using a soap from Ghana. That type of soap that is ladder, tick, tick, tick. So just go out there and support your people, folks. You know what I mean? Support the folks who are making that effort to make a dollar, because trust me, for those of you all in business, or maybe even if you're not in business, this place is extremely slow and hard. I visited PriceMart on a couple of occasions. I've never just walked up to a cashier in PriceMart. That is what's been happening now. It is slow. All right, so take it. Be careful out there, folks. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. And guess what? We still live on Gael.
Yeah. Have a fantastic day, people. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. And of course, netradiott.com continues on the web with excellent programming. And you can also listen on your smart devices at NETT Radio Trinidad. Say and play NETT Radio Trinidad on TuneIn, and you're good to go. Don't forget to get your tickets for the boat cruise on the 15th of August. I'll give all the examples already. When you get your pension this week, put aside money for those boat tickets. All right. Tell your grandchildren, don't touch your boat ticket money. Right. You understand?
And right before the boat cruise, Richard, a lot of people who collecting the NIS getting the money too. Buy your tickets with your NIS money if you ain't buy it with your pension money. Okay?
Exactly. So get your tickets. All right, so of course this is where we end the show for this Tuesday morning, nice and sunny in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, wherever you are in whatever time zone, we appreciate you taking the time out to listen and spend time with us in Trinidad and Tobago on The Breakfast Show. We know you have choices and we're glad that you chose us. Have a fantastic day, people, and we'll speak to you bright and early tomorrow morning. You've been watching and listening to
The Breakfast Show!
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here, we bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes.